Alrighty. So here I have two examples of circles. Both of these problems ask you to do almost the same thing, right? First one says write the equation of a circle given its center and radius. Then you make a graph. And the second example, you begin with the equation of a circle, and then you want to give the solution in terms of what is your center, what is your radius, make a graph of it, and then there's one more application, just finding domain and range, okay? So the equation of a circle is given as x minus h squared plus y minus k squared, which is equal to r squared. So h comma k is the center, and r is the radius. Okay, so you can go ahead and plug in the center point and the radius into this equation. If you do so, what you're going to get is x minus the value of h, which by the way is -3. So it's x minus -3 squared plus y minus the value of k, so it's -1 squared equals to r squared, which is 2 squared. All right. Now, you can simplify the equation of the circle just a little bit here. Wherever you have any two negative signs, you combine them, right? The two negatives will convert into a positive. So the equation of the circle here in this first example should read as x plus 3 squared plus y plus 1 squared equals 2 squared, which is 4. Okay, so that's our equation. Now we can make a small little graph that can contain our circle. So please note, my graph is not going to be drawn to scale. In fact, this might be a very horrible graph. Okay. So first thing is, you can plot your center point. Your center was given as -3, -1. So I know that the x value is -3, so I went 3 units to the left. So that's -3. And then if I go 1 unit down from the origin, that gives us, so I have to put it this way so it could fit. This will give us our point. Oops, my bad. -3, 1 is located here. All right. Now, how do I graph the rest of the circle? To graph the rest of the circle, all you need is the radius. The radius value was 2. So I can go 2 units up, 2 units down, 2 units to the left, and 2 units to the right of our center to get 4 of the boundary points, right? If you think about what a radius is, the radius is the distance between any point on the circle to your center point. So if I went, I'm just going to zoom in here. If I went 2 units up from our center point, which is -3, -1, then the y value is going up by 2 units. What would be our new y value if I went 2 units up? 1. The x value doesn't change. It'll still be -3. So if I went 2 units up, our next point would be -3, 1. All right. Now what if I went 2 units down from the center? What if I went 2 units down from the center? What would be my new coordinates? -3, -3, -3. Because I'm going down from the center, right, which is -3, -1, then the y value got to go down by 2 units. So that's -3, -3. Now, as you can tell so far, my circle is not going to come out nicely just because of my my scaling here. My scaling is pretty off. Okay. Hello. Good evening. Now we can go 2 units to the left and 2 units to the right of your center. So if I went 2 units to the left, what will be my new x value? -5. So this is -4. Let's say here's -5. Let's say somewhere here. That would be -5, -1. This is -3, -3. And then I got to go 2 units to the right of our center. So if my center is -3, -1, if I went 2 units to the right, what would that value be? The x value would be -1, right? So you get -1, -1. All right. So the graph came out a little horrible because of the scaling. But essentially what you're gonna have is this. I'm gonna use dotted lines. But that's gonna be my circle. Okay? Any questions? It didn't come out that bad with dotted lines. If I actually connected, it come out like a chicken egg. All right. Let's look at the second example now. In your second example, you're given the equation of the circle. Now you're working backwards. You want the center, you want the radius, and then you want to make a graph. So when you look at that equation that's given to you, x plus 2 squared plus y minus 5 squared equals 9, you got to make sure that this equation is first written in the form of x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals to r squared. Now, when you compare the given equation to our formula, are they equivalent? Are they both matching? No, what's not matching? That's right. The x plus 2 and the x minus h are essentially not matching. So what you need to do is factor out a -1 from that +2. If you factor out that -1 from the +2, then the +2 becomes a negative. All right. So the given equation, this x plus 2 squared is actually x minus -2 squared plus y minus 5 squared is equal to 9, right? Okay. So now you could identify your h and your k. What is my center? What is the coordinates of the center? -2, 5. And if you notice, we had that 9 is equal to r squared essentially here. So if 9 is equal to r squared, right? R squared is equal to 9. Then what do I know about r? If r squared is equal to 9, then what should be r? The value of r? The square root of 9. And what is the square root of 9? 3. All right, so your center is -2, 5. You have that the radius, which is r, is equal to 3. All right, so I have all of the information now to make my graph. So let's say here's my y-axis. Here's my x-axis. So first thing is you plot the center. So the center is -2, 5. So I go 2 units left. 1, 2. Again, this is not going to be drawn to scale. And I got to go 5 units up of the origin. So there you go. There's our center. Oh, sorry. If you want to get additional points, you use the idea or the definition of the radius. The radius gives you the distance between any point on the circle's boundary to the center point. So if I go 3 units up, 3 units down, 3 units left, 3 units to the right of our center, you get 4 additional points. And those 4 additional points allow you to, essentially connect them to make a circle. So if I went 3 units up of our origin, of our center point, what would be my new coordinates? That's right. 3 units up will give us -2, 8. What if I went 3 units down of the center point? Negative, yes. -2, 2. Now I have to go. Sorry, I'm writing this really small, by the way. I should have did a better graphic. If I go 3 units to the left of our center, yeah. So 1, 2, 3. That will give us -5. So -5, negative. Sorry, -5, 5. And then 3 units to the right of our center, 1, 5. Right? 1, 2, 3. So this will be +1. And now you connect those points, those purple points, using a, for now, I'm just gonna use a dotted line, only because I'm not the best drawer. Now, if I was actually doing this, like, let's say on an exam, I would like dot, like, I would use like a solid line, just make it solid. All right. Any questions on that part? Now, if you want to talk about domain and range, by the way, domain is when you have to look at the x values. And when you look at your domain, you always read, when you read the x-axis, you always read it from left to right. So if I want to figure out the domain for this graph, by the way, what is the lowest x value that you have? -5. The lowest value is -5. And what would be your highest value of x? 1. Are -5 and 1 included here? Yes, they are. So we use square brackets. So our domain is -5, 1. And the range, you will read it bottom up, meaning what's the lowest value of y all the way up to the maximum value of y. So what's the lowest value of y? 2. Highest value? 8. Are they both included? Yes. So you say square bracket, 2, 8, close square bracket, and you gave your domain and your range. All right, good work. It's crazy how that was so tiny and then this is so big.